What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. Welcome back to another episode of Aperture. And this is an interesting topic I thought I should definitely share with you guys. So I put this on the Christmas list, and it's not quite Christmas. And I received my gift from the lady. This is an Olympus OMD EM10 Mark II, and that is a mouthful. It's pretty much Olympus's mid-tier or mid-range offering, and I really like this camera. I mean, so far I've only had it for about 2 days. I took it out last night, and you guys will see the shots coming across the screen. I took it out for an hour or two after work, and I was really happy with what I saw. You know, there's a lot to love about this camera. But before I get into it, I want to lay the groundwork in what the motivation was to request or to actually want a tool like this. You know, I've been hunting and searching in the photography world for my thing, and I'm still all over the place, and I don't mean in a bad way. I'm still enjoying all aspects of photography, but my favorite comes back down to street photography. I love street photography, and then closely followed by portraits, god damn it. That's a very difficult word for me to say right now. But anyway, street photography continues to be my personal favorite in the photography world. I think it takes an enormous amount of character to get out there and just put yourself in the environment and really what's going on, and then try to blend in and let everything unfold around you naturally, like it's been doing with or without you, and then try to capture that moment. I really do enjoy that, and you know, there's a lot of randomness in street photography, and when you get it right, and getting it right is not always a technical thing. Sure, there's some technical stuff behind it, but getting it right means when you've mastered the technical part of your camera, and you've got that sweet spot in your settings where you can get pretty much any shot that's good enough, and then you sort of place yourself in that foresight where you see a nice scene and you see something potentially happening. You're just waiting for that one person or thing to pop off, and then there's also all two of those things combined to being in the right place at the right time, and you get that shot. So rewarding. So street photography continues to be my number one, and this was the camera I first started for street photography. This is a Sony NEX. Is the camera focusing on this thing? I don't know. This is a Sony NEX 5T, and this is one of Sony's entry-level offerings in the mirrorless world, and I think it's a dope camera. It's super small, super light. What I do like about it is the ability to interchange the lenses. I used to have a huge 18 to 210 on this thing, and it actually used to be very comical because the lens was like this big, and I would look like a fool with a big ass lens and a small ass camera. But I got rid of that. Lens, and this, you know, I got my A7, and this became quickly. This is my A7 here. This quickly became my workhorse, and I went back to this guy for street photography. I really liked it. It was small. It was light. It fit in my bag. But there was one problem I could not get around, and the fact was the images at night would really bother me. They weren't as good as I wanted them to be. I mean, it wasn't bad by a long shot. It just wasn't good enough. And when I really started to analyze that problem, like I would take out my A7 Mark II, or I would take out then the NEX, and I would really do the comparison shots. It literally came down to the 5-axis stabilization. And what the 5-axis stabilization does is it counteracts movement, very subtle movement. And I'm not talking, you know, huge movements at a time. I mean, the different me would be on the NEX 5T, I couldn't go below something like 1/60th of a second because I wouldn't get any sharp and focused shots. And on the A7 with the optical image stabilization, and granted it's got a full frame sensor versus APS-C, that's not what we're talking about here, I can get down to like 1/10 of a second. That's a huge difference. And this was something that I even further dialed in when I got the G7. Now the G7, although this is what I'm shooting now for video, this is my 4K monster. Even though the A7 doesn't have 5-axis image stabilization, it has 3. I was able to get fairly low, like I would say 1/150th of a second. So it was very clear to me that the tool that I really needed to get my street photography done the way I wanted it to be done was a small lightweight camera with 5-axis stabilization. And this put me in a very interesting place on the market. There isn't much out there in the Sony line. I mean, the NEX, I haven't seen them refresh this thing in a while. This is a dope platform for something this small with a sensor this large as an APS-C sensor. I think it's noticeable. The image quality is amazing coming out of this guy. If you were to get some sharp lenses on the NEX, my God, you'd get some killer pictures. And then from the NEX, which I haven't seen in a while, so that was out of the gate for me. You come up to the A6000, the A6300. I mean, those cameras were dope, very good cameras. The 6300 particularly, I was looking at for 4K video for a while, but I decided not to get it. I got the G7 for that. And again, there's no optical image stabilization on the 6300. And the step up literally just came out a few weeks ago is a 6500. And Sony finally put image stabilization on that, but that thing is almost $1,500. I'm not spending that much money. So looking around, it left me with two things. It left me with the Fuji, and it left me with an Olympus, the XT10 or this guy. The reason I chose this guy is because I already have a Panasonic, and that's the G7 I'm talking about. And Panasonic and Olympus got this thing going on. I don't know who makes who. I never really looked into it, but the lenses are interchangeable. So it'd be a huge benefit for me to buy a camera that could also, that I can have those lenses work in both ecosystems. So ultimately, that's why I went with the Olympus. And also, Jerry was in my ear talking about this guy. He has the EM5 Mark II, which is a step up from this. A few more features, few more dials, custom buttons, yada yada yada. And he raves about the sharpness of the quality from this camera. And I mean, getting my hands on this, what I can say is this camera is wild sharp. The images that I get from this camera, and this is from the first day. This is not even, you know, really figuring out what I wanted to do and how to really take advantage of it. The images are so dope. A very beautiful camera. I think it's one of the more attractive cameras on the market. This color combination is, man, I just looking at this thing makes you want to get out and go shoot. I do like the feel of it. It is a metal body, so for something this small, and if you look at the size comparison, it's almost as small as the NEX, just a little bigger, just a little bigger. But when you pick this thing up, you're almost shocked by how heavy it is, and not heavy in a bad way. It's just this sturdy feel, this build quality that's really cool. Although this guy doesn't have weather sealing, but I mean, I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's not like I'm running around Loch Ness Monster, hunting for the Loch Ness Monster with my camera, so not to worry about that. Another thing I do like is all the lenses for this guy are crazy small. This one in particular has got the extracted lens here, so you can pull it back in when you're done. But a lot of the primes are super small, so this guy actually is very, very portable. I'm gonna love that for my travel photography. I'm gonna love that I won't have to walk around with my A7 because that thing is huge and heavy. But yeah, there's a lot about the camera that I like. I can go on and on for days. I may actually do a review. If you guys want to see a review of that, you let me know. It came out to like 8 and change with a 1-year protection from Best Buy. And again, for what I needed, there really wasn't much in the market on this price. And I really like the offering here. The only thing I don't like about it is the menus. My God, the menu system is a nightmare on these things. But other than that, I think, based on what I saw from the images that I was able to edit up really quickly, I think this might be my new not only daily camera, my street photography king, and my travel companion. This thing it's that dope. It really is that dope. There isn't much to say. It's a lot of praises for me, and you know, I'll give it another few weeks, and I'll take it out a lot more, and I'll come back, and like I said, I might do a review, get you guys some sample images, and maybe even get me a prime. I want to get that 35 or 30 millimeter equivalent lens, because you know it's a micro four third camera now, so the crop factor is 2, and that in itself is interesting. But yeah, dope camera, really dope camera. If you guys haven't looked into Olympus, now's the time to start looking. I have been a big Sony fanboy, still am a big Sony fanboy. I love Sony's cameras, but this is also another great offering. Thank you for checking out the video. I hope you guys found it informative. I hope you found it entertaining. Hit that like button, show some support. Subscribe, plenty more content coming. My name is Ramon, and I'm out of here. Peace.